Alright guys, I had to come back and talk to you because I just got some blood work results back that I've been waiting for some time, and I've been telling you guys about the situation with my testosterone. You know, when I started doing Lion Diet, I had already been taking testosterone injections for about 3.5 years. That was because back in 2018 I had gone to see my doctor, and one of the issues I was having was erectile dysfunction and inability to perform properly. And that was a big issue for me, as it is with most men, I'm sure. If they run into that problem, it's going to be a big problem for them. So I asked my doctor if there was anything I could do about it, and he suggested that I could do a low dose of testosterone. And I was taking 1/2 of a cc every week to help regulate that. Now initially my testosterone reading was in the mid 300 levels back then. Well, I quit using testosterone after my first year on Lion Diet. A few months later I got my blood taken again, and the results came back, and I believe my score was 395. Let me go back and take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm looking at here. Yeah, back on July 8th I got my testosterone results back, and my testosterone level was 395 Ng/dl. Standard range is 250 to 1100. So 395 is on the low end of the scale. She was surprised that I was actually higher than I was when I went on testosterone. And the only thing I can equate that to is the fact that I had been doing Lion Diet that whole time, because it seems to have made a difference, because she thought for sure my numbers would have been drastically lower after so long of taking testosterone, almost 4 years by the time I quit. But she was really surprised that my levels were that high back then. One of my viewers had recommended that I start taking some iodine, that it might help with some of the issues I was having, because I had gone through that prostatitis, and he suggested iodine would help with that. So I started taking the iodine, and I started off with Lugol's drops. But shortly after that I watched a video by Dr. Barry where he talked about iodine. He had even recommended going as high as taking the Iterol 50 milligram iodine pills. And I didn't really like the cost of those, so I found another one that I liked better called Zen House, which is an iodine supplement that has selenium in it too. Now you get a lot of selenium in meat, so I may not need that much selenium. I haven't had any indication that selenium has been a problem. In other words, I'm not getting any side effects that are known for selenium overdose. I started off taking 3 of these tablets at a time, and eventually I went down to 2 tablets at a time. And this iodine pill does have 12.7 milligrams of potassium iodide and 3 milligrams of molecular iodine. So it's similar to iodoral, but it's not exactly the same. But it was a whole lot less expensive, and it came with a lot of pills in a bottle. So I've been taking 2 of those pretty much standard now for at least 3 months. I can't remember when I got, let me see, when did I get my first one? So I started taking the iodine pills back on August 24th of 2022, and you can see that I just got my 3rd bottle delivered in on Wednesday. So I think taking iodine might have helped some, because iodine is what helps your thyroid have good health. And when you're on a diet that's all ruminant meat, water, and salt, you're not really getting any iodine unless those animals that the meat came from were raised close to the ocean, where the iodine gets into the food they eat and is in the air around them, so that it gets into their bodies too. But the meat I eat generally is either store-bought, so I have no idea where it came from, or it's the whole cows that I buy from Big Mo up in Dixie, Georgia, and he's not really all that close to the ocean. So I know I was iodine deficient. I actually took 2 separate tests to see if I was iodine deficient. One was a skin patch test, and the other one was a urine test. Both of them revealed that I was low on iodine. So ever since I started taking iodine, I started to notice my skin looked a little better. I started to notice the little bags under my eyes were going away. And I felt like I had a little more energy too, because ever since then I've been working out like a devil, or working on a job where I work like a slave and I just keep going. I feel like the Energizer Bunny. I'm 50 years old. I have never felt like I've had this much energy or this much drive to keep pushing. Even when I'm working and working and working, I still want to keep working. I think the iodine has helped with that a lot. I believe it also, by helping support my thyroid, it's helped with my testosterone production, because my last test results are even better than the results I got back in July, and that's what I want to share with you now. This wasn't supposed to happen. My first doctor told me that if I quit taking those injections, he said you're not going to go back to where you were. You're not going to be as high as the numbers you were at. You're going to go lower. And that's what scared me into staying on testosterone to begin with. I had quit testosterone initially when I started Lion Diet because I had quit all of my medications. But when I went and finally saw my doctor about officially being taken off of them on his record, that was the only one I wound up staying on. I initially asked him if I could reduce the dose any, if I'd be able to wean off, if that might make a difference. And he didn't seem to think any of that would make a difference, that my body would just go back to what it was able to produce and that was it, and it would never go up any higher. Later, when I got a doctor here in Florida, she kind of confirmed the same thing. She even said she was surprised my testosterone numbers were slightly higher than my reading when I left Georgia, which I think when I first got them checked, they were in the 380s. So for her to show it in the 390s, she was surprised to see that it was 390. Well, my blood results this week show a much better result. Where's my testosterone? There we go. From March 29th, you can see here my testosterone values. 588. 588. From 380 something, now I'm up to 588. Right in the mid-range of normal testosterone levels. You know, and I have had so many people tell me that doing carnivore diet shot their testosterone levels down. I knew I didn't feel like my testosterone was lower because, first of all, I haven't had the problem I went to see the doctor for, even once I quit the testosterone injections. And it's been well over a year since I stopped taking the testosterone. So I'm extremely happy that I've, one, been able to get off of all medications, but even happier to see that my body is producing testosterone at normal levels now. And all I can say is I owe it to Lion Diet. Between the two, an all-meat diet and also having the iodine, I've been able to do what my doctors told me I couldn't do. I was able to get my hormones back in balance. I have a lot more blood work to share with you guys, but I wanted to come and start with this one because I've had a lot of guys ask about this. I've had a lot of guys ask, how does it help in the area of performance when we're talking about sexual performance? I tend to be quite tight-lipped about sexual performance because I'm a married man and my wife is very private, and by implication anything I talk about involves her. Let's just say that I have had no problems with what I had before and my libido is just fine. If you've been convinced by somebody that eating an all carnivore diet is going to drop your testosterone numbers, I'm willing to bet there are other factors involved. And there's a good possibility you just may be a little bit iodine deficient. All I can say is I'm extremely happy to see that I've been able to defy the odds that my doctor said I would be able to do. And I did it while on Lion Diet. That's all I got for this one. I'll see you guys next time.